as the Clippers lose a hard-fought battle in overtime, 98-93, Portland Trailblazers. This is Gary G reporting, the Inland Valley News.
We played so well tonight, but it happens. You know, everybody, I'm sure, you go to ask Terry, he'll probably give you 3 or 4 games that it happens and you learn from it. Tonight, it felt like we tried to hold on to the game on both ends. Like, we didn't score either, you know, the last 2 minutes, and we didn't run anything. And so that was on us as well. Now, we gave up baskets that we should have never given up, but we started milking the clock. You know, we got the lead by the way we were playing, and I thought we vacated that to try to shorten the clock instead of playing.
Is it a matter of playing to win and not to lose?
Yeah. Thank you.
Jill?
I could have said that it would have been a lot shorter.
What did you make of the Chris Paul Lillard matchup and what Chris was able to do, holding Lillard obviously to such an off night?
Yeah, well, you know, that was great, but you know they still won. You know, one thing I'll say about Lillard, Chris was phenomenal, and I thought we trapped him a lot and took him out of a lot of stuff and tried to get him to 4 shots, what he did. But I guess the lesson there is he still, what did you get, 18 rebounds? You know, I always, you know, I look at guys and I ask my guys that all the time. If someone takes away what you do, what else can you do to help the team? Because there's certain games where you just don't have it, and you have a bad night. Lillard hadn't won the night, but he still stayed in the game. He got 18 rebounds. So, and that's good on him. But I like the way Chris guards everybody. I've been saying it since I've been here. I don't know if there's a better defender at that position. Him and Westbrook probably are the 2.
You talked before the game about combinations you weren't sure were going to work, like the Baby DJ one, and then you see what Baby was doing with 2 charges, things like that. Apart from the very end with Hito too, did you kind of like the way that looked in the fourth? Yeah, you know, listen, tonight we knew that was going to be a lineup we were going to have to use because they're so big, and we felt like we had to make it a low-scoring game, you know, so that worked for us.
Talk about what you got out of your players, considering you're missing some key ingredients. How pleased were you with the way they did perform?
We didn't win, you know. You know me. I mean,
right.
It's great. We play great, but we play to win. If we have 5 guys on the floor, I try to instill in our guys, you're supposed to win the game. And we didn't win the game tonight, and so I'm not thrilled about it, to be honest. But I do like the way we're fighting. You know, we are fighting. You can see it. You know, we knew we were down a lot of guys, a lot of points. But we hung in there. The tough part is, you know, we kind of gifted it at the end. Thank you.
Chris, can you tell us what happened in the end, how it played out, and how you guys, you know, performed in the end?
You know, this one of the few games where they started doing that fouling mess, and you know, I think that was on me. You know, we sort of started playing the clock instead of, you know, keep playing. I got a bad turnover there. We should have kept the pressure on. We let them change the game with that.
Chris, when DJ maybe 7 seconds left and you were motioning for him to shoot the ball, was that just a miscommunication on his part? Did he not realize how much time was left, or?
I don't know. I ain't asking. When that happens, you move on, get ready for overtime. Yeah, man. I mean, it would have been nice if we could tip it back in, but also would have been nice if I just made a shot and it wouldn't have came in it.
Chris, pretty unlucky, though, too, the way that they came out. Realistically, how you lost and who you lost to, does it hurt a little bit more because of the circumstances and where you guys are in the standings at this stage?
Where are we?
You started out a half game behind them.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So that it does.
Yeah, I want to win regardless. You know, right now we're trying to play the right way, and you know all that stuff will take care of itself. So tonight I think it was a lesson, and like Doc always saying, you know, play through the game and don't just try to run the clock out. No, I mean, there's no such thing as moral victory. You know, I'll show you somebody. It's all right with losing, and I'll show you a loser. You know, so you know we needed to win. It'll hurt tonight, and tomorrow we got to get ready for Golden State. Not pressure. You know, I said this even when we won games, we need Blake, but without him, you know, guys have to step up. Obviously, I shot 29 shots. I'm sure I haven't shot that many shots this year. And, you know, it is what it is.
So it's a good test for us, man. Like I said, we're a game and a half, like 2 games away from being like the 3rd spot. You know what I mean? So we just got to take each game as a key matchup game, which I thought we did tonight. Towards the end, like I said, man, I think some of our guys that were carrying us the whole game got gassed, and that's where we got to step up and help out, which we've done. Just not tonight, we didn't do it, so it's frustrating.
What did you make of what happened at the end of regulation there in that last possession?
They made the right call. They made the right call. It's just a simple mistake. DJ thought because the shot clock went after the game was over. He puts it back in, we win. He wasn't thinking that. You know, the clock goes off with 2 seconds to run. I mean, that's just happens, man. You know, DJ was really mad, obviously, because he's a competitor. You know, we told DJ, if you don't play, we're not even in the game in the first place. He's a key component to our team right now, so you know, it just happens. The refs made the right call. The game was over in overtime, and you know, they beat us.
It seemed like a lot of people on the court thought the game was over. Did you guys realize on the bench?
No, when you got the rebound, me and Chris, if you look at the replay, I'm sitting there like, put it up. I said it before. I don't think he heard me. Huddle, I was like, there's 1.5, but there's 2 on the clock. But again, when you hear the buzzer, and Chris took a dribble too. Right. So like in anybody's mind, that's how. Even it wasn't DJ's fault. The whole stadium thought the game was over. You know, when the buzzer goes off, he had the rebound like this. It was staring, but the clock stopped anyway. So like I don't know if they would have made it, would they not have counted it? I mean, so it's just a weird. It doesn't matter. We shouldn't have been in that position in the first place, to be honest with you. We should have won the game. Should have won the game. They beat us. That's all I can say. Tip my hat off to them. They beat us.
So talk about the disappointing loss. How much more motivation does that make you guys strive for?
We got to move on to the next, man, because we play Golden State Sunday, and Golden State it doesn't get any easier. So for us to be hold our heads down, you go in there and lose by 30. So we've got to understand what we did wrong tonight. Understand we got to play 48 minutes. My dad keeps saying it after every game. Playoff games comes down to 1 possession. It's like one little mistake. You're gonna look back. He's like, we could pick each one. He went down the line tonight of each guy that made 1 mistake. He's like, that's what I'm saying. Each little play matters that much when it comes down to these big games. That was a playoff game tonight. The Houston game was a playoff game. The Memphis game was a playoff game. The Chicago game was a playoff game. It's starting to get now. Teams are fighting for seeding in playoffs. In the West, you could be 6 games out. So we're fighting every game. It's a playoff game.
Talk about the acclimation in the system for yourself. How are you feeling?
That's just easy. You just go out there and play hard and just try to help the team. And my whole focus is just to give energy from both ends. And naturally, everything kind of just flows through that. I was really frustrated after the game with myself offensively. I thought I could have brought way more tonight. I missed so many chippies around the rim that I usually make, like my floaters. I had 1 layup the first possession of the game, or the first time I got in the game. You know, you go from 2 points to me having 8 to 10 points. That just is another. You know what I mean? So I'm pissed off. So I'm just ready to play. I wish we had played tomorrow. To be honest, I wish we played the Warriors tomorrow.